Hey, fellow babies, welcome back to Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. We appreciate your patronage as a Patreon patron or a YouTube subscriber. If you are neither, please try hard to remember to link your Amazon Prime account, your Twitch Prime account. The instructions are in the show description below, and it's really easy to do. So please make a note. You've got to renew that every month or so. We'd appreciate it if you do it. We get paid, and it costs you nothing. So a freebie, one of the few freebies out there. Take advantage of a free offer.
This episode of Pachter Factor is brought to you by DeShazer Ryan Realty. Right now, Doug DeShazer has beautiful lots available adjacent to Kookanusa Lake in northwest Montana. Pull up your RV and access the hookups, or build your own construction. Either way, you have access to world-class fishing, hunting, boating, swimming, biking, hiking, and the internet. No matter where you're looking to buy, make Doug DeShazer your real estate consultant at 406-291-1643. That's Doug DeShazer at 406-291-1643.
Today's question from YouTube from Game Time. Is PlayStation VR2 already dead? If so, why do you think it failed? Was PlayStation crazy for giving the green light? Will we ever see a VR from a console manufacturer again? It's not dead because Sony won't give up on it. It's just that Oculus, untethered and less expensive, even though it's expensive, is a little better. And PlayStation VR, remember, you need a PlayStation to play it. Like, it's just like all in cost is $1,000, just too much. So I think that killed it before it got off the ground, and I think that they should have learned that from PSVR 1, and they didn't learn the lesson. And not only didn't they learn the lesson, they jacked the price up. So when I did this episode, and I'm very quick to point out when I'm wrong, I thought the price of PSVR 2 would be less, $300, and what was it, 500, right? I thought it had to be less. You can't charge $450 or $400, whatever the PSVR 1 was. No, they charge $500 because they know better. Yeah, dead from the beginning. And again, not that Oculus is a bargain at, was it $349, but
then the MetaQuest 3 is $500.
Oh, it is, right?
Yeah,
but it's really good.
Not as good as PlayStation VR 2,
but
it's
right?
not tethered.
I heard that the field of vision on PSVR 2 isn't that great. I haven't played it.
It's pretty awesome.
It is.
As far as VR goes,
yeah.
It's good.
Okay. But again, tethered's a problem. I saw a speech the other day by Phil Rosedale. Look him up. He invented Second Life. And he was talking about virtual worlds, and really interesting guy. And he invented Second Life, so he obviously has some chops in this. But he said something different from what I've heard before, that people wearing a VR headset, we talk about claustrophobic, but they feel vulnerable. They feel they can be attacked because they can't see what's coming at them. And that was just an interesting, different way to say it. I've heard claustrophobic a million times, but he said vulnerable, and he said, and that's why it'll never work. And I don't feel vulnerable when I wear it, but again, it's because I'm usually sitting down. But I think he might be right. I think that VR might never, ever really quite work for games. I think it'll work for other applications, like phones work for other applications, and then ultimately maybe gaming will become the primary way to use it. But you're going to have to distribute it for a different reason. There's not enough people who only want to play games to drive adoption of VR. You've got to come up with, everybody has to have it to get universal health care. So if the government were to say, the only way you can be in Medicare is to do all your medical examinations with VR, every old person would have it. And then once you have it in your house, your grandkids will come over and play games with it. That would work. So I think it'll be that type of a weird tech breakthrough that causes it to happen. But short of that, I think, yes, and to answer your question, PSVR 2 is already dead. Until there's 10 million PSVR 2 headsets, there will not be a good game. Nobody's going to put the money in. Sony might, but what's it going to be? Astrobot, which was great, right? But it's not. Astrobot's a game that, we talk about 20-hour Spider-Man. Astrobot's not a 20-hour game. It's a 2-hour game. It's just every game for VR is, maybe except for Fallout, is like, Journey or Flower. It's a short fun experience, but not long. I don't think it's ever going to work. It'll work if we get the headsets out, and then once they're out, you'll make the good game. But it's chicken and egg. You're not going to buy a headset without the game, and you're not going to make the game without the headsets. So somebody's going to have to subsidize it, which could be Facebook. It really could. Not at $500. They're going to have to give the headsets away for $100, and we're not there yet. We'll be there eventually. Facebook's committed to it because Zuckerberg believes in this whole virtual world, not games. Like, he believes we're all going to social network in virtual reality. And so he has an incentive to drive that price down to $100. I was really skeptical when I heard Bill Gates in 2000 talk about the hard drive in the Xbox, the original Xbox, was going to be the entertainment hub in the living room. I didn't believe it. And that's because I had a dial-up modem. And I didn't understand how I was going to watch a movie because, man, I couldn't load a frickin' web page in 2000. And I'm like, if it takes 30 seconds for a web page to load, how am I going to watch a movie? And again, you guys watching in 2000, we didn't stream video on our PCs. But Bill Gates had the advantage over me that he actually knew what they were building in the cloud, and he knew it was happening. And, so does Facebook know what's going on with VR? Yeah, a lot more than I do. So I don't know the answer, but, if Facebook decides they're going to spend another 60 or 70 billion dollars building out VR, it's going to happen. It's just going to take that kind of investment. The answer is, it's not Sony. This is not Sony's war to win. This is Facebook's war to win. And we're just all living in the same world as this, guys. PlayStation, I think, believes that if they build it, everybody will come. They believe that FIFA will be on there now, EA Football Club, and Call of Duty will be on there. It's just no. They don't. They're blowing it on this. And by the way, these are the same guys who brought you the PSP and the Vita with no first-party support. So, how many, you talk about definition of insanity, how many times does Sony need to fail with hardware efforts before they realize they made a mistake? So, if you want to, I left that out of my turkey episode. Boy, turkey of the year, PSVR2. What a turkey. What a joke. And I also left that out of my Jim Ryan episode. To criticize Jim Ryan, he should have killed that bad boy before he greenlit it. And he didn't. And the reason Jim didn't kill it is because the talking heads at Sony wanted it. His executive team is absolutely convinced above him that was a good idea. Bad idea. Was he fired for it? No. He retired. But, is the next guy going to make that same mistake? I hope not. Next guy or gal. We'll see. Thanks for joining us as a Patreon patron or a YouTube subscriber. It's keeping us afloat and keeping Shane able to come back out here. I get none of it. You are just providing for the production cost to make sure we can keep doing this. If you are a subscriber or you are not, please remember to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. There's instructions in the show description below. And you've got to renew that every month or so. So please, if you haven't done it in a while, click through the show description and link it, and we'll get paid. It costs you nothing. It's free for you. Amazon pays up. Let's stick it to the man. Thank you.